What a wild day for shares of Tesla. They dropped midday when Reuters released an article that said that Tesla was no longer pursuing the path to the $25,000 vehicle that so many people have been expecting as early as the end of 2025. Of course, Elon Musk sort of responded to that. I'll get to both the article and the response in just a second. But I think this brings up a lot of the questions about Tesla right now as investors are looking for what's next for the company. Is this going to be a company that's going to be moving down the cost curve, now introducing a $25,000 vehicle, trying to increase volumes as it's having a difficult time selling the Model 3 and Model Y at already reduced prices? Is it going to be a company that's going to shift its business model to make robotaxis? That was actually what the article talked about. And I talked about this recently on a video saying that Tesla's business model just isn't built for robotaxis. And so it seemed to indicate that they're actually going to move in that direction. Instead of building a $25,000 vehicle, they would build robotaxis. So many questions about what the future of Tesla looks like. And I don't really think Elon Musk answered any of it. But let's get to exactly what we did find out today and how to interpret some of this, because I think some of this gets lost in the media and social media narrative. Even if this article isn't 100% correct, it's probably directionally correct, and I'm going to get to exactly why. My name is Travis Hoium. Thanks for watching Asymmetric Investing. Please subscribe here on YouTube for all my content, and thanks to this video sponsor, The Motley Fool. If you go to fool.com/ASYM, they'll give you their top 10 stocks to buy right now. Let's first get to the stock price move today, because this is what was so jarring. On a day that you can see that the Dow is up 0.8%, S&P up 1%, NASDAQ up 1.1%, Tesla is down 3.5%, and it was actually worse than that midday. You can see that shares were bumping along about $170 per share. This article hit at about 11 a.m. Eastern time, and that's when shares dropped to as low as about $161 per share. And they popped back when Elon Musk responded, or sort of responded. Let's get to that first. This was actually Elon Musk's response on X, as you would expect, but there was a lot of links to the Reuters article that originally reported that Tesla was scrapping plans for this low-cost vehicle. Zero Hedge talked about that, and then Elon Musk just simply said, Reuters is lying again. No details on exactly what they're lying about, no details on what the future of the $25,000 vehicle is or robotaxi, just said that they're lying. So something Elon Musk has been harping on over and over again. Everybody in the media is apparently lying about Tesla and Elon Musk. But let's go to what was actually reported, because I think this is important. This is the article from Reuters. And Reuters is a major news organization, has journalists, has editors, goes through a fact-checking process, has multiple sources for this article. So this is not the kind of organization that you would see just making something up completely out of whole cloth. There's at least something behind this, and there's a few indicators, I think. First of all, there are 3 people on the byline, meaning there are 3 people who worked on the story and 3 people who are putting their reputation behind this story. If you're making up information that's going to affect a public company like this, you can be held liable for what happens to that company. Tesla lost over $10 billion worth of value this morning. That's a major impact. So this isn't the kind of article that just willy-nilly goes through the editorial process at an organization like Reuters. I think that's important to keep in mind, because criticize the media all you want. There are a lot of people doing a lot of reporting work behind the scenes and trying to figure out exactly what's going on at a lot of these companies. And one of the questions about Tesla is what's going on with their Mexico plant? What's going on with this $25,000 vehicle that has been promised for a long time? It's apparently supposed to be coming next year. And so this is one of the things they were probably asking about. And this has been edited to say that Elon Musk did respond. They apparently reached out to Tesla, and as Tesla always does, Tesla doesn't have a PR team, so Tesla did not respond to reporters' questions. 3 sources tell Reuters the entry-level vehicle, the $25,000 vehicle, will not be built. Tesla is going to focus instead on self-driving taxis or robotaxis. And the strategy shift comes as Tesla is facing competition from Chinese EV makers like BYD. So there's a lot to unpack there. The first thing I think is important is just the competitive dynamics of the marketplace for Tesla. Tesla is struggling to maintain even reasonable margins with its existing vehicles. Model 3 and Model Y make up a vast majority of Tesla's sales. The margins for those vehicles have been in decline, and particularly in China, where a lot of these low-cost vehicles are coming out. Their sales volumes are declining along with prices. And so there's fundamental pressure on the business. So that's something that management is going to have to think about. There's pressure on the existing business. Are we going to try to go down the cost curve even more, introduce a $25,000 vehicle, and then have competitors, particularly in China, chase us down that cost curve? Might not be something that they want to do. The other thing is that Tesla has been investing a lot of time and money in FSD, in particular FSD version 12, which is using this artificial intelligence technology with an iterative process. The theory is, and I think what we've seen in the reality is that the autonomous driving features are going to get better and better and better over time. So what happens to Tesla as a business? This is what I covered on my video earlier this week, is that if they're going to make fully autonomous vehicles and make some sort of robotaxi, then I think they should ultimately move to a business where they're building a robotaxi themselves and actually providing transportation as a service. It doesn't make a lot of sense for Tesla to be selling $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 vehicles and then asking customers to pay extra for FSD and then send their vehicles out into the wild to be basically their own personal Uber. The better business model is to build a custom vehicle that is built specifically to be a robotaxi and then build out that service. Tesla has the money to do that, just like a lot of other competitors like Waymo and Cruise have the money to build those vehicles and build that fleet. So I think that's the fundamental tension, is what is the business model for Tesla going forward? And what this article is at least indicating is that Tesla is considering moving towards a more robotaxi-centric business model. Now, obviously, Tesla has refuted this, and specifically Elon Musk did, but there have been indications that they've been delaying this vehicle for quite a while. Mexico apparently asked Tesla, hey, when are you going to actually start production and break some ground on this Mexico facility that they were hoping to have in operations in 2024. So Fortune did some reporting on that. Mexico Business News did some reporting on that, saying basically that this project is delayed. Nobody knows exactly when it's going to move forward. And therefore, it's pretty obvious that the state of the $25,000 vehicle is in question. Is that because Musk is going all in on robotaxis? That we don't really know. Thanks to our friends at The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/ASYM for the top 10 stocks to buy right now. It's really easy to criticize the media within an instance like this, especially when Elon Musk himself is running his Twitter account and just responding and saying, nope, Reuters is lying. Doesn't give any details around what they're lying about, doesn't clarify any of the points in the article, just says that they're lying. So we don't actually know what the truth is, at least according to Musk. What we know is that there are multiple people at Reuters, including not only the writers, but also the editors, who have put their reputation and jobs on the line to report what they did about Tesla. They had multiple sources. They reported that they saw documents that indicated this was the strategy going forward. And that's exactly what they reported. So I think as investors, you should at least take that information at face value. Take it as a piece of information that you pull in and say, hey, maybe Tesla is changing the way that they're thinking about the business. Maybe this $25,000 vehicle is not on the horizon. And maybe the robotaxi is something that they're going to move towards. What exactly that business model looks like in the future, I don't quite know, but I do think this is going to come up in the next conference call. And Tesla really needs to answer what the strategy is going forward. The company has obviously given up on its 50% growth rate in production. That was something that came out just a couple of years ago, and then Musk really walked that back over the last couple of quarters. We've seen that sales are now starting to drop from a volume perspective. Margins are already falling. So there's a lot of questions about what is the strategy, what is the plan to turn around operations, and where does all this technology go? Tesla's putting a lot of money into artificial intelligence and full self-driving, but there's not a huge business behind that today. So what is that business model in the future? That is ultimately what I think the company needs to answer. That's actually what this article was getting at, and we don't have a great response from Musk. So something to keep in mind as you look at the coverage of this article and Musk's response in particular. The article probably very, very well vetted with the sources that they had available. Musk's response, just kind of flip it. And I don't know how much we can read into that. Maybe a lot, maybe not at all. So complicated situation, but we'll probably learn more at the next conference call about what's going on with this vehicle. But what are your thoughts? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to Asymmetric Investing. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you here next time.